Hi, my name is Jacqueline Rose, and I do not think it's a coincidence that you're here. I think you're meant to be here. So if this message resonates with you, click like and subscribe to my channel. This channel is about the spiritual awakening, the ascension process, and the law of attraction, and anything that's self-help. My intentions here are always pure. I am just trying to share my journey in hopes that something that I say will trigger somebody and give them a different perspective about their life and will help them on their journey. Um, Today I wanted to talk about sex. In later videos or earlier videos, I had said I wanted to talk about taboo subjects. And so here I am. I was thinking about it today. Um, a, a conversation triggered something in me. So I had somebody once say to me, like, on the topics that I'm talking about on YouTube, I want to make sure that, like, when my son sees it in the future, like, it's not embarrassing or he wouldn't be ashamed. And I'm hoping when I talk about these taboo topics, he does see it and he does understand what I'm saying, because sometimes you have to put your flaws out there in order for other people to learn. And you have to, like, not judge yourself on it. When you're judging yourself on it, then when you present something to somebody, they're going to judge you on it. So you got to let go of the judgment of yourself, really, because it holds you in a prison. But this girl once that I was talking to said that they did not see that being monogamous was natural for any species. And there isn't a ton of species that are monogamous, but that is a belief pattern as well. And if you believe that it's hard to be monogamous, it's going to be hard to be monogamous. If you believe you're going to be in a destructive relationship, then you're going to be in a destructive relationship. It's your beliefs. And I noticed that. I noticed whenever I was a young girl and I started like experimenting with my sexuality, or, you know, becoming sexually active, the situation that I was in back there, I took that situation into all of my other relationships growing up. And I even applied it to my husband, and he was not the same person that the person that I started my sexual experiences with. So they were completely different. I had made my way away from men like that. I thought I did, at least with him I did. And because I would repeat that pattern of that same relationship. And I want you to do that. I want you to go back to, like, whenever you were sexually active or starting out, like, what that experience was like. And also look at your parents, you know, like, were they very sexual? Did they show affection towards each other? Like, all of that's going to matter in your own relationship. You may think consciously it doesn't, or you don't think you're doing the same thing, but you are probably doing the same thing. I'm just gonna be honest. And because I did the same thing that I saw. And then you apply it to a relationship and you almost gravitate towards a relationship like that. I had a friend that, you know, grew up and saw her parents cheated on each other and that they separated. And she would have boyfriends that would always cheat on her. And it not all of them, but there was a few that really did do some fucked up things. And then later on, she kind of attracted something that may happen like that. And I just saw, like, that's what you think. I related with her way of thinking because I was kind of the same way. And I feel like you really have to look at your beliefs with everything. I even was telling my friend the other day that, like, even when it comes to, like, fetishes and stuff, because I hear a lot of people are like, ooh, that's a weird fetish. I don't know why they do that. And I think to myself, a lot of the times it's because something happened to somebody. Like, if somebody likes to be like S&M or something like that, I don't know. But something like in the S&M factor, like if they like to be whipped for, say, maybe they feel like they always have to be in control of something all the time and they want to be submissive towards it. Like, it applies to something that's going on in their everyday life, you know? And so I don't even necessarily think that it's weird ever. Like, I watched that True Life on MTV back in the day. I always say this story. True Life back in the MTV. And there was, like, these people that like to have, I think they were called furries. And they like to have sex in mascot uniforms or big uniforms. And I didn't really think it was weird. I just was like, this is fucking interesting, right? And then I'm just like, now that I look at stuff and I'm like, all of this stems from something happened when they were children, you know? Like, people do things sexually if they're promiscuous or they're not promiscuous. It all stems from a belief, and it all stems from maybe an experience or something that they told themselves. You literally write, like, oh, I'm going to take that on. That's going to be a part of me. I see this and it's going to be a part of me. You don't consciously do it, but subconsciously you do. And then you repeat the patterns, right? Unless you're able to be aware. Of course, awareness is everything. And I now can be aware of what I was doing back in the day. I can see it. I can see how I hurt other people by trying to protect myself. I thought about that, like, you know, some guys that I dated that were, I was telling my friend that there were some guys I dated were extremely good to me. And every time a guy was really good to me, like, I was like, peace out, you're boring. Like, and I didn't consciously do it, but I remember doing that with my husband, and I may have talked about that in a past video, that I realized with my husband, I was starting to find little things that were annoying about him when we first started dating. And I caught myself and I was like, what am I talking about? Like, he's such a nice guy. He comes from a good family. He's treating me nice. Like, why am I? And it was like stupid shit that I was trying to find. And so it was like a pattern. And I saw that pattern with my mom a long time ago. And I started to kind of unravel it. But it took me years to go, like, what? I did this to other people and people did this to, and just like, you really have to start everything. I dissect and try to figure out where it stems from with me. And then as I dissect it and I'm aware of it, I can see the pattern and I go, I can change my belief. I can know that I'm with like an amazing husband and that he like puts me first. Sorry. I can believe that. I don't know why I'm emotional. And I can change it. I don't have to believe that the relationships I started out with are the relationships that I am in now. Because everything stems from that. If you believe that it's hard to be monogamous, what gave you that theory in your mind? And why do you resonate with it? And if you resonate with that theory, then you can go, I don't have to resonate with that. Because if you're somebody that finds it hard to be monogamous, and you have gotten yourself in a relationship, now you have agreed to the rules of the relationship, especially if you know what your partner expects from you, right? Now you've agreed with that. If you don't think monogamy is easy, that's cool. She was cool with her opinion, but then you don't need to be in a monogamous relationship, because what you do is you put your own problems on a relationship. You have to just look at shit different. That's what I'm saying. It's a different like, you just have to perceive life different, even when it comes from sex. And you also, like, I've had to really, like, own a lot of the shit that I've done to other people, and I've had to break down why I did the things that I did and why things intrigue me or don't intrigue me. Like, even when it comes to sexual things, and just being open and honest with my husband about things that I'm cool with and things that I'm not cool with, you know? And if it's an issue, we sit down like adults and go, okay, like, you know, I prefer this or I don't prefer that. And like, I don't know. I told my friend, because my therapist told me once, like, about the connection that me and my husband have now. I'm a girl. And like, I remember my husband going, I'm not doing anything different. And I was like, it's the connection. I like never allowed myself to like accept his love fully. Sorry. And once I was able to love myself fully and then accept his love, like, the connection you have with somebody is so much greater. Sexually, emotionally, it's just so much more. And I understand now as an adult, like, why it was so important to be like, really guard your heart and guard your sexuality. I was explaining this to somebody once, and I wanted to like explain it in a way, like, let's say this beautiful, my friend gave me this beautiful crystal. See this beautiful crystal? So let's say this is your heart, right? And it has so much energy into it, right? There's so much in that heart. And every time you sleep with somebody, or you connect your heart with somebody, or have that emotional bond, there's a little string that attaches from this heart to that person. And you have only so many strings that can come, so much energy that can come out of this heart. And so when you put these strings and you spread them out to everybody, give your heart away to everybody, then it's less of the heart that you have to give to your true soulmate, right? Until you cut the strings. I had to start cutting strings that I've given my heart out to people. Sorry, being raw. And once I cut those strings, I was able to give my full heart to myself first, and then to the closest person to me. I'm back. That's why I say, like, I don't mind if my son ever sees this, because I hope he learns that. And that's with anything. You have so much energy in your body per day, per lifetime. You have to really think about who you're giving your energy to. Is it somebody working for your highest good? Is it somebody that just wants to unload their problems on you? Is it somebody that is going to return that energy back to you? Is it somebody that's just listening? You know, like, you really have to understand energy and how it works and how you're going to give it out. If it's your heart, if it's your feelings, if it's your thoughts, because you will take on that energy. Hopefully this isn't a blubbering mess. I have to be raw in these videos. I have to like share my emotions, and maybe my son will see that one day. You know? Maybe he will learn something. I don't know. But I hope you got something from this holler for a motherfucking dollar. Peace.